I'd like to call the City Council meeting for May 18th, 2026 to order. And we'll start with ordinance number 26-29.
Being an ordinance amending the schedule of fees to be effective July 1st, 2026 for the city of Louisville.
Is anybody here to speak on ordinance number 26-29? Moving on to ordinance number 26-31.
Being an ordinance amending Part 11, planning and zoning of the codified ordinances of the city of Louisville.
Anyone here to speak on 26-31? All right, moving on to ordinance number 26-32.
Being an ordinance amending Chapter 971, Parks of the codified ordinances to add a new section, 971.20, which preserves the wooded area of Metzger Park.
Anyone here to speak on 26-32? Okay, that moves us into our regular agenda, and I'll ask for an approval of the May 18th, 2026 meeting agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Let's go ahead and vote.
Street,
Yes.
Aljansic,
Yes.
Godone,
Yes.
McAllister Atkins,
Yes.
Please bow your heads for a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Street,
Here.
Aljansic,
Here.
Godone,
Here.
Johnston, McAllister Atkins,
Here.
Please let the record reflect Councilmember Johnston is excused from tonight's meeting. We have a certificate of an open meeting, and we have the minutes from the May 4th, 2026 council meeting. Any corrections? Okay. I ask that they approved as presented. And then we'll move on to the Mayor's Court report of receipts and disbursements for the month ending April 30th, 2026. Ask that those are approved as presented, and we'll move to the financial report.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple things I want to go over in the packet today and then one additional item. First of all, income taxes are up 1.3% from what they were this time last year, and obviously April's a kind of a pivotal month for that, so it's a good number. Naturally, I'd probably like to see it higher than 1.3%, but I would like to point out that if you're just looking at withholdings and individual accounts, we're up 7% on those two combined. There's a sharp decrease in the net profit, which kind of offset us the other way. That is the smallest portion that we generally collect. Next thing, the general fund balance, where it was just about the same as the prior year last month, it is lagging this month. There's a specific reason for that. Last year we got our first half real estate tax settlement from the county in April. This year we didn't get it till May. So that should sort of balance itself out once May finishes up. What else we got here? The budgetary target for April is 33% of appropriations. The general fund is at 45% total, but only 30% if you exclude the transfers out to other funds. All funds together are at 35%, and that is 26% without transfers to other funds, so we're doing well there. The Star Ohio interest rate was 3.8%. And then last thing I want to go over, I want to kind of start this conversation about the Regional Income Tax Agency, otherwise known as RITA. We're in the early stages of planning to transition to having the Regional Income Tax Agency assist us with our income tax administration. It's been talked about before. I know before I got here, we feel that now is a good time to start that process. I'll be following up with each of you via email in the near future with more details and to discuss any feedback or questions you might have ahead of time in these early stages. It does require legislation from council, and we plan to bring the ordinance to you for the first reading on June 15th, which will be the second June meeting.
What are some of the advantages or benefits of switching to that tax collection system?
For one thing, it'll be pretty much cost neutral to the city. What the real impetus for this is that our income tax administrator is going to be retiring here down the road, and we want this transition to coincide with that. So it should be cost neutral to the city. It will also allow residents sort of additional resources without having to leave their house. They'll be able to file online, things like that if they want to. We will still have our tax agent, Teresa, will still be with us. They can absolutely still come to the city just as they always have if they desire to do so. But they're going to be helping us on the back end with the administration side.
So like in the past, like you can do federal and state online, when you go to a tax preparer, they can submit the cities online with this new
Yep.
system? They don't give you a separate envelope and say you have
No.
to take this in?
No, they absolutely can, if that's
Can
what
if
you
you
want to
want
do. But no, Rita is a really good system. The people there are really knowledgeable. It's an RCOG. It's a Regional Council of Governments. So everyone there is just trying to do their best to make sure everything's being administered properly. And I've worked with them before. I was part of the transition at Rittman to Rita as well. And that was a really, really smooth, really good transition, and we got a lot of good feedback from the community once it had happened, and they'd used it a couple times. Got a lot of really positive feedbacks.
Good stuff, man.
Any other
Yep.
questions for Matt? Okay,
All right.
thank you very much. We'll move on to ordinance number 26-29.
Being an ordinance amending the schedule of fees to be effective July 1st, 2026 for the city of Louisville.
I'd make the motion that we bring amended ordinance number 26-29 to the table for discussion.
Second?
All right, Mayor, this is the addition to our rates and fees schedule to account for a variety of different vehicle fires that we can charge for now. After passage, assuming it passes, we would ask for an amendment to it to include the last class, or the truck 7-8 class that was inadvertently left off at the last council meeting, and then do another first reading.
Mayor, if I could, I'm
So-
sorry. No, we don't pass it, we need to amend it,
I'm
not vote
sorry,
on the
I'm
second.
sorry, amend it.
So what I brought to
After-
the table, did I bring the amended ordinance to the table for discussion? Or are we?
You make
So-
a motion to amend,
I need to
and
make
then
the
you
motion
bring
to
the
amend.
amended, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would make that motion to amend ordinance number 26-29 to include
Truck class 7.
truck class 7 and 8.
In the date as well, if I could, to August, because of the amendment, we have to do another second reading. So if we can move that date to,
Change the effective date to August.
Change effective date to August what?
1st,
First.
2026.
all right,
Second? Is that what it is?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, let's go ahead and vote on that amendment.
Street,
Yes.
Aljansic,
Yes.
Gadone,
Yes.
McAllister Atkins,
Yes.
Now, if I remember correctly from last time, now we go back to our first reading of the amended ordinance, correct? So
Yes.
let's go ahead and read that.
being an ordinance amending the schedule of fees to be effective August 1st, 2026 for the city of Louisville.
This is confusing. I would make the motion that we bring amended ordinance number 26-29 to the table for its first reading.
Second?
Okay.
You did it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
That's why they made me vice mayor.
Okay, any further discussion on that?
I don't have any.
Okay, let's go ahead and vote.
Street,
Yes.
Aljansic.
Yes.
Gadone,
Yes.
McAllister Atkins.
Yes.
Okay. And we weren't looking for that to be done by emergency. We'll vote, we'll do second reading next.
If you prefer it that way, yes.
Okay,
That doesn't hurt anything.
No, that's fine with me.
okay. All right. So then let's move to ordinance number 26-31.
Being an ordinance amending Part 11, Planning and Zoning of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Louisville.
I'll make a motion that we bring ordinance 2631 to the table.
Second.
To table it until the July
Okay.
6th
for its second reading to table it until July 6th for public notice requirement.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay.
Thanks, Tricia.
Okay.
Sounds good. And Mayor, if I may, the reason for that is public hearings under the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinances, which is the Planning and Zoning Code, they do require a 30-day notice to the newspaper. So by the time we get that to the newspaper, that's why it's such a late date that it would be brought back,
Okay.
asking for the table.
So for that second reading table or second reading that was just tabled, any discussion, we just move on and wait until,
I mean, you can discuss, but yeah, you'll wait for the next meeting.
okay.
And then we will probably have legislation to alter that notice requirement because it has been published. When we changed the charter to eliminate the 30-day newspaper, we didn't realize that it had also been duplicated in one. Tiffany actually found it, which was very important. It is still in the ordinance, slipped into one area for any changes to the zoning code.
Okay.
Well, and that was my question. So this still has to be posted in the
Yes.
newspaper?
Yes. There might be more hidden in the ordinances. We're looking.
Okay.
We are trying diligently to find this.
Just gonna imagine.
Newspaper anywhere else.
Sounds like a Control F newspaper activity. All right, Andy, can you give us the 30-second, just kind of elevator version?
Yeah,
of
this is just the ordinance that, as we have done with another, number of ordinances in the past, we're trying to streamline and make the process for certain things easier on the residents. So this simplifies and streamlines the process for approvals of what are called minor subdivisions or property that's either not going to be added to make more than 5 lots or divided to make more than 5 lots.
Okay. And that's where we gave Dave that authority to,
I don't know that we gave him or just clarified that he had the authority. It wasn't real clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. So let's move to ordinance number 26-32.
Did we vote on that?
I think
It was
It was
tabled.
Oh, it's tabled, okay. All right, I'd make the motion that we bring ordinance number 26-32 to the table for its second reading.
Second.
Do you have to read that, Tiffany, or are we okay?
I can, being an ordinance amending chapter 971 Parks of the Codified Ordinances to add a new section, 971.20, which preserves the wooded area of Metzger Park.
Yeah. I'll make the motion again if you, this is a very messy night.
I was gonna say,
Ordinance number
this is
26-32 to the table for its second reading.
Second.
All right, Mayor, very simply, this is the ordinance
Easy
that
for you to say.
protects the wooded area to the north of Metzger Park and prevents things like the hunted force from taking place there in the future, and really restricts it to what was probably the intended purpose, which are things like hiking, walking, and just kind of general nature enjoyment.
Okay. Any further conversation on that?
No, just again, I do appreciate the way that it's written. It's exactly what we were looking for, and we appreciate keeping that area of the park natural.
Okay, let's vote.
Street?
Yes.
Aljansic?
Yes.
Godone?
Yes.
McAllister Atkins?
Yes.
All right. Is anybody here? Public speaks? Want to share anything? All right. No, you can get 3 minutes, Roman, if you'd like to share anything.
I would just like to speak to City Council quickly on the new City Hall.
Sure.
And prior to starting, I am totally and completely in favor of a new City Hall. So I don't want this to be you to misunderstand. What I am concerned about is, I'm concerned that the architects came up with the amount of money it would cost to remodel the existing City Hall and presented to City Council a new building that was the same cost. So it seemed like a no-brainer. Why would we remodel something when we can have something brand new? My concern with the brand new is that it's considerably smaller. And I question whether or not the architect drew the plans to match the money, rather than necessarily what the city needs or is going to need. I feel we have an opportunity here to get this new building, to do something that will be beneficial to the community for a long period of time, not if we make it too small. I would abhor the city council to take a long, hard look at the size of this building. Hopefully, we're a growing community. We may need more room. Let's not put something together and shoehorn it into our budget when it's not the proper size. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roman.
Very good.
Yeah, good points.
All right, and Andy, I don't know if you want to share, just because you've been in those
Yeah.
conversations about kind of how that, what you foresee is the current need and how that kind of came into existence.
Yeah, so, to your point, Roman, we certainly did bring down the size compared to what the square foot size of City Hall is. However, by virtue of not needing to dedicate space to make the existing City Hall handicap accessible, by virtue of modern storage systems versus what we have in the basement of City Hall, and a number of other things, we look at the scaled down version in terms of square feet compared to what we have now, and it actually provides us with room to grow. In a perfect world, would we maybe do it different? Absolutely. I think we would. If money wasn't an object, I'm sure we'd do a lot of things differently, but unfortunately it is, and we do have a budget to work with. But from a space perspective, we gave a great deal of consideration to how much square foot we had, the number of offices we had, the room we would have to grow, and we're confident that that particular space that was designed for us will take us well into the future.
I can only answer that by saying I hope you're right.
Well, you're more than welcome if you'd like to stop in someday. I'll go over the plans with you.
That's fine.
I'll be happy to.
I've looked at square footage before.
Yeah, no, from a square foot perspective, it is, it's just the way that it's being used is far more efficient than what we have in the existing building. Yep.
All right. Let's stay with Andy and city manager report.
Sure, Mayor, just a couple of things. As I think probably all of you know, the second Friday was an incredible success. I know those of us that were down there think that was probably the busiest one in terms of the amount of people that attended. Relatively problem-free. It was a great event. The weather cooperated. Everybody seemed to be happy. So we're obviously happy with that. A reminder, the Memorial Day ceremony will be in front of City Hall at 10 a.m. a week from today. And we'll continue to advertise that. I do have some news that maybe I'll share with you after the meeting. A reminder to city council and department heads about logging in to complete the 360 evaluation. I actually had to do one myself, and I was kind of confused by some of the questions too. It was confusing. But please take the time to do that if you would. And then kind of a hot topic right now, Omni-Fiber is nearly done with their completion work. In the past couple of days or so, they've really kind of kicked it into gear. We've seen a lot more progress than we've seen in the previous months. And of course, the goal will be that by the time we are completely done, which should be sometime this week, at least the yard restoration will be done throughout the city. There are some other areas involving storm drains and concrete and asphalt that that aren't as time sensitive related to the growing season, but we are pushing that forward. I believe that's all I have.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Questions for Andy?
For me, Mayor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that second Friday, and really, I know it's a independent committee that, you know, helps facilitate a lot of that. But, I mean, to have we had police presence there, we had, you know, the fire department there with the flag and everything that looked good, and it takes everybody.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, you know, department heads, and really Dave facilitates things with businesses, and Daryl, I know what the work that went on downtown, and Matt, I'm sure you authorized a budget, right?
Absolutely.
You authorized a budget that paid for something.
I'm sure I did.
So I just want to say I appreciate it. You know, I know it's above and beyond what is typically just required for government work, and I've heard a lot of positive comments about the way downtown looks, and I just appreciate people going above and beyond to make that happen.
Well, you are accurate. Most of the people around this table do take an active part in it, and have a lot to do with it. But I think we're all, again, very happy with the outcome.
Okay. All right, Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report tonight, but we'll answer any questions that anybody would have.
Me, Chief.
All right, Dave?
Mayor, Council, I just wanted to give you an update. As you know, Orchard Park, our housing development up off of Broadway and 62. So Keovanian was the builder in that development. They have pulled out of that development. We have a new developer coming in, D.R. Horton. They're a national home builder. We had a preliminary plat brought to the Planning Commission last week, which they approved. So they changed the preliminary plat. Basically, the single family, they're going to increase the single family homes. They currently, I think they're going to build 15 additional townhomes, three townhomes, and then an additional 77 single family homes to finish up that development. So final plats will be coming probably next month. Some of them, I think they're going to do it in 3 different phases. So over the next few months, you'll be getting final plat approvals for those Orchard.
That's great.
More housing.
Yeah.
So those townhouses are triplex?
Yes.
Okay.
3. The other thing I'd like to bring to your attention, we had Todd Hawk. He is leading a county-wide effort on housing. And I think Steve had mentioned him, Steve McKenzie, when he was here. He works for Steve and Strengthening Stark. He presented at the Planning Commission and our Board of Appeals and Review Committee on last Tuesday. I would hope maybe we could bring him forward, I don't know how council feels, for a presentation to get up to speed, especially since we're dealing with some of these issues with regards to density and smaller lots, that sort of thing.
Sure.
If you'd like, I could talk to him about coming to a council meeting and presenting. It's about a 10 or 15-minute presentation he does.
Sure.
Yeah.
More education out of it, yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, thank you. Daryl?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything for tonight, but try to answer any questions.
A couple questions have rolled in with road paving, and do you care to share just a little bit about the schedule, and then, again, how we go through and select which roads are done?
Sure. So this year, we kind of took a little bit different approach. With the budget that we had, we kind of looked at some roads to just do more of focus on making sure that the base is correct for those roads, making sure that we're not just putting a Band-Aid over top of what's already there. The subgrade wasn't as good. We just didn't want to pave over top of that. So we kind of looked at that as we wanted to focus on those roads and put those out there. As far as timeline goes, everything's done, I believe. It's just, we might have to change a thing or two as far as advertising, if I'm right.
The contract and the specifications themselves are being
Yeah, I
looked
don't
at.
know, I'm looking down there,
legally.
but maybe I should be looking over there. But we had to kind of reevaluate some of the contract language and how we were doing that, put that out there. So I think once we have that, we can advertise for it.
Okay. And I think I had forwarded you a message from, what's the road that enters your allotment, Tricia?
Eagles Way.
No, Eagles, yeah.
I think there was somebody that was off of that road and said something to the effect of the road hasn't been touched in 20 years.
Yes.
Is that Is there any fact to that? Or do you know where that
I
road
don't know
currently
exactly
sits?
how old that allotment is, so I can't
25
accurately
years old. I
say.
mean, it probably hasn't been done since it was formed, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to go look to see how old that allotment even is to give an answer to that.
Okay.
Just based on how it appears, it probably hasn't been touched in quite some time. Although I will tell you, based on what we've looked at as far as roads, it is better than some. We do have some that are really in need of attention, and that's not one of them. I mean, I know it has issues. I know that the area that we're talking about, we've done some patching in that area, and we probably could do some patching in that other areas in there to kind of help it along, but there are roads that are worse.
Okay. Yeah, if you could just get eyes on it, and see if there's room or if there patching's needed or wherever it fits in. You know, I know it's hard and everybody sees streets around their home that
Yeah.
need done, and it's hard to take a top-down scope, but if you guys can at least put eyes on it.
Well, that's not to
let
get
us know.
too far off in the weeds, but that's one of the lines that we added to the bid this year. It has one on there where it calls them full-depth repairs, so going down 6 inches, coming back up with 4 inches of base, got another 2 inches of top on top of that. So we put that in there for that reason, so that we can call out a road and say, hey, the overall road is in pretty good shape, but we might have this 40-foot stretch here that we can do a 10-foot wide, 40-foot long repair. And that can be part of the paving program that we're doing. So to sit there and say that we have a list of these are the roads, it's hard to answer that because we don't this year.
Sure. Okay.
I had a community member ask me, I just want to clarify, the railroad tracks, they were saying railroad tracks are really bumpy. Is that our road department, or does the railroad take care of that?
That's the railroad.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, so we are, Andy and I have talked, there is the railroad tracks that go across Constitution there. I don't know if that's the one they're referring about the two or not, but those we're gonna take out and get rid of because they're not in use anymore. But the main ones that go over, those are still in use, and those are, I'm not sure the legality of who owns what.
So it's Norfolk Southern, for most of the tracks on West Main. The initial set actually belongs to the Transformer Company. And we have been going back between representatives of PUCO and Norfolk Southern. We're trying to get to a position where when they pave it, and this has historically been a huge challenge, but we're trying to get to a position that when they do pave them again, we have the option of paying an additional cost to have a more durable material used, whether that's concrete or steel plates, whatever it might be. But again, it's very difficult to get answers from the railroad to get them on the same page to, yeah. But we are, that is one of the
Yeah.
things, it actually was part of last year's goal setting that we have been working on.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Chief?
Just a few things we're gonna post on the city page and then our page. The Umbrella Alley Race is going to be on Saturday morning, along with the first artisan market for the city. And then, there's been some questions about e-bikes and where you're allowed to ride them, so I provided you guys with a handout that, we're also gonna put on our Facebook page so that the public and parents and kids are aware of what bikes they can ride where, here in the community, and, any of the safety concerns that we have with that.
That's good stuff. I know they can be dangerous, and that there are a lot of people that have approached me about some kids that have been on them, riding in traffic, not necessarily along the side of the road, but right in traffic, and just kind of like to stay out in front of it, I guess.
Sure, and, I sent something out to our officers today, including the same handout I gave you, and they're gonna, make sure that they stop and educate kids and people that are riding if they're doing something dangerous or that they shouldn't be doing. So we will keep ahead of that.
Yeah, and a lot of it does go back to the parents. I know that we just don't want to see another tragedy like we've had in some of our neighboring communities.
Sure.
Yeah, if there's anything you or police officers think is appropriate enforcement-wise to discuss. And I don't know that if it becomes a reoccurring issue, like that's something, at least I'm willing to discuss and talk about and think of different ways. Yeah, Guy is right. It goes back to the parents and having an idea what's going on in their kids' lives and monitoring this a little bit closer. But if there's the same issue happening over and over and a police officer's like, there's nothing I can do, then
Okay, thank you. I'll keep you posted. We'll see how this goes here.
Okay.
Now that the weather's finally getting nice, so.
yeah. All right, Matt.
I don't have anything further beyond my report earlier, but happy to answer any additional questions about it or anything else.
Hey, gave us good stuff, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You're off the hook. All right, I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of considering possible purchase of real estate.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Let's go ahead and vote.
Street.
Yes.
Algencia.
Yes.
Gadone.
Yes.
McAllister Atkins.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming. There'll be no action to follow.